The year 2014 saw millions of South Sudanese on the move, fleeing a conflict that erupted 1 year ago. The speed and intensity of the war's spread throughout the young nation caught the world by surprise. Since last December, more than 2 million children, women, and men have been uprooted from their homes. Close to 500,000 have become refugees. Many walked for days or months to reach safety in neighboring countries of asylum, arriving hungry, dehydrated, and scared. Most of the arrivals are children, as many as 70% under the age of 18. Almost 35,000 South Sudanese children have fled without their parents and relatives. It's estimated that around 12,000 children have been recruited or used by armed groups. It's been called a children's crisis, leading to another lost generation. Kan Maluel understands this better than most. He fled the last war over a decade ago to Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya, 9 years old and alone. He returned home in 2007, hopeful that his country had finally found peace. But now he's back in Kakuma.
I feel bad to come back. I never knew that I would be called a refugee again.
This time he's using his past experience to help the next generation of traumatized children.
They need someone to be there with them, someone to support them, someone to help them, someone to report all the challenges that are facing them in the camp, to keep hope alive.
Humanitarian agencies are working tirelessly to meet the needs of the hundreds of thousands of refugees spread across the region. Ethiopia is hosting more than 190,000 new refugees from South Sudan. Some 130,000 went to Uganda, while Sudan has received more than 110,000, and Kenya is hosting more than 44,000 refugees. The numbers continue to grow. Also growing is the gap between the needs of the refugees and what aid organizations are able to provide. In November, food rations in Kenya had to be cut in half, leaving families reduced to having just enough for 1 meal a day. In Ethiopia, child malnutrition rates for South Sudanese refugees remain at a critical level. Children in camps across the region desperately want to attend school, but often they can't, due to a lack of facilities and resources. Without access to education, many young people, especially young men, are vulnerable to being drawn back into the conflict at home. All these needs, and more, require urgent support. The rainy season has ended. The threat of both fighting and famine loom over South Sudan, along with a surge in the numbers of men, women, and children fleeing for their lives. Millions of suffering people in the world's newest nation are at risk of being forgotten. It's a risk the world cannot afford to take.